now that we have our image open in Pixlr, what we need to do is basically take the background out so that way we just have ourselves in the picture that we can put in front of what we want to show for our project. Okay. The first thing that we need to do, now that the picture is open, is on the right side of the screen you're going to see a window that says Layers. Alright, so this picture right now is the only layer, and it defaultly is called Background. You'll see a little lock icon next to that. So what I want you to do is double click on that lock just to make the lock button disappear. Alright, and it turns into a little check mark, and it'll probably change that to say layer 0. Okay, for this particular project we're not going to worry about layers. So all we're going to do is we're just going to have one layer, we're going to take the background out of it. Okay, once you have your screen looking something like this, what we're going to do is we're going to use the wand tool to remove as much of the background as possible. Alright, to find the wand tool you're going to go to the left side. It looks like a little wand with some sparks coming out of it. Alright, if you hover over it, it'll say wand tool. Alright, just to go over some settings for it. The main one that we're going to worry about is the tolerance. Alright, the tolerance basically means the lower the number, the closer to the color that you're clicking on will be selected. Alright, if you pick a higher tolerance, that means it'll allow more of a range for the different colors that it might grab. Alright, so right now, I'm just to demonstrate what this looks like, I'm going to leave it at the tolerance of 21, which is its default. I'm going to click anywhere on the green space. Alright, basically what you're going to see is it's going to basically outline around my person. Alright, and it's going to take all this green space on the outside. Alright, so all you have to do then is hit the green, or you'll have to hit the delete button. Alright, then all the green on the outside will pretty much disappear. Okay, then what you'll notice is, like, between the guy's legs, right, because it wasn't surrounded by the border, if I would click on that and then delete, it'll take care of most of that. And then the same with that little space in between his hand and his arm. Let me see if I can get a good spot there. Alright, so now this is looking pretty good. Alright, but what you'll notice is that there's still a decent amount of green around the outside of this guy. Okay, and this is where we might adjust our settings a little bit. Right, depending on your background that you would want to use, this might not be a big deal that there's some green on the outside. Alright, but for some of you, you might want to make it a little bit closer to what it actually looks like for him. Alright, so if you find that this is not doing a good enough job for you, what you're going to do is we're going to hit Edit Undo. And we're going to have to hit it as many times as we need to get back to how we started out. Or you can use Control Z to go back. So I'm even going to go back to where before anything's even highlighted. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to change the tolerance. Alright. Now I'm going to purposely change it to something that is too high of a tolerance. So I'm going to say 200. Alright. So just to show you what happens if we go too high. So if I click in the green, alright, essentially it's telling me that anything within a certain number code within the green will go away. Alright, right now I don't see anything highlighted. Alright, I just see the outside of the whole picture. So if I hit delete, alright, it pretty much got rid of the whole thing and left just a little bit of shadow. Alright, because it took out a lot of the color. Alright, so you don't want to do that. Alright, so I'm just going to undo to unselect anything. Alright, when I was testing this picture out earlier, I found like a 110, somewhere around one, it doesn't even matter, something around 110 was about a good tolerance for this one. Alright, so if we test it out, you'll see that in this case there are part of like a shade of the color in the arm and in his hands a little bit, and up here at his neck might get cut off. But just to give you an idea what this looks like, what I'm going to do is hit delete. Alright, I'm going to delete down here, and I'm going to delete that green in his, I want to undo that. And I want to, if you have to zoom in, you can just hit the view button to zoom in. Alright, I'm just going to try to get this green in here. See how it's still taking out part of his arm color, which in your, like when we're doing this, it might not be a huge deal if the shade of his arm is a little bit off. But but you'll notice that you really have to zoom in to see any green, like around his hair you won't see the green. Alright, so basically what you might have to do is just test it out. Maybe there's a different tolerance that I could get more of the green out without affecting his arm as much. But we just want to get as close as possible without spending a lot of time on it, because the main idea for us is just to get our stuff into PowerPoint so we can make our video. Alright, the next video is going to show you how to basically save it and how to get it into your PowerPoint.